Alright, so I haven't done my update in a while on the SMLRO e-bike. Man, I want to rename this thing so bad. 144, almost 145 miles in total. We are in cruise control, dip. So I figured out the balance a bit. It still wants to lean, the bike itself wants to lean to the left. You can still go no hands, but you do have to kind of position a little differently, which works out. The top speed on this, I think on average, is about 26 miles an hour. And then I did notice that in the on the way into work, it's trending higher, even though there's plenty of battery right now. I came in and I have greater than about, only used about 1/4 of the battery coming in. Coming home, like right now we're on a flat surface going about 25 miles an hour, not pedaling. It's still very quiet. I fixed the squeak. The squeak actually was not from the seat. I thought it was. And then what I did is on the little springs, I put like a little bit of WD-40, thinking that might help, and actually it was still squeaking, and then I kind of zeroed in closer. It's actually where the frame, it's a folding e-bike, which is really kind of cool. It does come in handy when someone's got to pick you up, you got a flat tire, you can't change it right away. So it's actually just metal to metal at this part, which is, it's practical, but it's not the best design. So all I did actually, to show you on another video, but all I did is I took two like felt round furniture things, like sticky things, and placed those on either side. Actually, it's got it not on either side, it's got the kind of an upper and a lower section where the fold is, so when it's like this. And so now the felt things are there. It keeps them, it's no longer metal to metal direct, which caused a lot of the squeaking. I mean, I'll just shush for a moment. You can hear birds. Here, I'm going to slow down. Some dogs. But it fixed the squeaking. And the balance, you'll notice I have to put, I have to lean more of my weight on this side. It's not terrible. It's not so extreme, but I did notice that I have to, if I want to do no hands, which I don't like to have to lean over all the time, so I do. Oh, and here's my bell. So, back to cruise control. So the bell too, give you an update on that. That's working really well. I like it. It's a very narrow design, and still works really well. I get really loud with it, or you can, just put your finger on it to stop the bell going. What I did to make room, before I had it further out, I don't know, this is in 360 by the way, so please, for those of you on TVs, I apologize. I know there's some people that like to watch it on TV. I do watch YouTube videos on TV also. Starting to do more of that actually. In 360, I get it. It is annoying, but I can tell you, this 360 camera in particular has the best audio quality than most, while I can, commute and speak at the same time. I've got someone ghosting me right now. So anyway, what I did is for the gear changer, I shifted that over to the left, and then I put the bell on the other side, and it works way better because then it's not such a far reach for my thumb. I actually can reach it quite easily. Slow down just a second here. Some kids. So I think it's another e-bike behind me. I just can't tell. But so anyway, back to that. Those are the things I've tweaked. So I tweaked this thing a little bit here. The fixed the squeak. Obviously, you guys know I fixed the pedal and the crank pedal. I think on that, one thing I'd say, I'm like the average height, 5'8". I did see after I bought this crank set, this is like 170 millimeter on the size. There's one that's 175, and I was thinking that actually might be a smarter way to go, because I actually can extend the legs a little better. Go this way. E-bike, it is. It's an e-bike. He's going to be following me. I don't know what his speed is, but anyway. What else? Oh yeah, what if that's a Stromer? That thing's going fucking fast. Yeah, he's going to be taking off. See, but he's not getting any exercise. For me, that is one thing actually I like about this bike. The 350 watt isn't so freaking peppy that, you know, that, yeah, I would say above 350 is 750. It's a lot of fun, but it does so much work for you. You really don't get a lot unless you do the torque sensing. Now this one at a 350, if I really want to go like catch up to this guy, I've got to really jump in and help this thing out. He's taking off. I'm not going to be able to catch him. This thing says I'm doing 24, 23. Eventually gets up there. 24.6 miles. Yeah, on the way home he gets a little tired. Other thing I noticed is the battery. It is heavy. I also added this external light from my other bike. I think I'm going to take it off. It's not that dark yet, but eventually it'll get pretty dark. And the light that it comes with is really more of just like a pedestrian light. Just notifying people that, hey, there's a bike here. But it really doesn't light much up. So definitely having an external light is better. The other downside, excuse me, my stomach is going through issues, I guess. This battery pack is heavy, so it ends up weighing down. There it is again. I got the hiccups or something. It's kind of heavy and weighs down. It actually ends up pushing on that light, so that light ends up kind of going down into the tire. Like I did attempt a wheelie on this thing, which I don't recommend because all of the weight in the battery, and it ended up knocking the LED light into the wheel, and so it was making a big scrubby sound. So I had to stop and fix that. So you're not going to be doing a lot of wheelies on this, the way it's configured right now. Now I'll say this, the cool thing with this bike, I actually could mount this bag anywhere. I just have to kind of get it out from underneath all this like tubing or wrap, this wrap around the wires, and I could actually reposition that thing like here if I wanted to. I don't know, kind of defeats the purpose of this stealthy look, but you could. The other thing I thought about, which you could do, if you really wanted to, you could take this e-bike kit and apply it to any e-bike, really, because all of it's kind of here for you. But that's like a whole nother, that's something I probably would do in a couple of years just to mess around with it. But for now, I'm super happy with the design of this bike. I love the folding bike thing. When I had that second issue, where I'll get into the brakes, that other issue where the pedal came off and I just couldn't go anywhere, and my wife picked me up, it was just so cool and chill that she was able to I just took the bike, folded it in half, the seat comes off, the handlebars twist, piece of cake. So you can't do that with your heavier fat tire bikes. They're beasts. You can't fold them in half. Now, some of them do sell the folding bikes, but it's just not quite the same animal. So just keep that in mind. The other thing too, I'd like somebody to chime in and also tell me your experience on changing a tire on an e-bike. And I'm talking about like the rad. I never experienced it actually. I didn't get one flat tire on the Cross Current. And the brief time, I think it has had it for a couple of weeks, the Rip Current, not one flat tire on that either. Which is just luck. I can see this box here. It's like somebody boosted a gaming box. I don't know what's out of that. So, the brakes. Let's get into my next week. So, the other weak spot is the rear brake. Now, I did also learn something else with this bike, which is kind of cool. I mean, you know, if you can learn something, you're winning, I think. So, there's a European style, and there's a U.S. style of braking. So, in the U.S., the brakes, the right brake controls the rear tire, and in this case, the right brake, this is like a European setup, the right brake actually controls the front. So you have to, and actually I think this is like on the Lithium Cycles bike is the same way, the brake is kind of flipped. So why there are these differences, I don't know. Anywho, I'm actually buying on Amazon a hydraulic brake set, Shimano, because I just can't stand this cable system. I think what's happening is with the left one that controls in this bike, which controls the rear disc brake. It's so tight. Yes, I know the white sign is on. It's so tightly like wrapped around. I think there's so much tension that when I'm trying to apply the brake, it ends up being problematic. It's not very smooth, and it slows me down, but it squeaks every time, and then it doesn't really come to a stop right away. So if I had to stop quickly, I have to do both left and right, which, you know, most people do, and you kind of subconsciously, you guys know how that works. I don't need to describe this. I feel like I'm over explaining, but you subconsciously kind of apply the pressures the way you need them, right? Oh, what the is that? The jarring motion. I don't like it. Whoa, bro. Hey, you see me, right? Okay, so, yeah, the brakes. So I'm going to try those. Now, one thing I noticed with these brakes is they have a kill switch on either one for safety, right? Because, like being on this side of the street, it does protect you. Like if you hit the brakes, it kills the engine, right? Understandably, so you want that. So I did buy some hydraulics for like 50-ish, and we'll see how that works out. Reposition around here. Yeah, because what I'm seeing here, if I just look at that, yeah, it's like a kill switch, it's like a button. So I'm going to have to see if I can, first I want to see if the hydraulic brakes actually fit on this bike. If not, they'll have to go back. If they do fit, then what I'm going to do, it's like fun, is find a way to make it to where those kill switches kill the power on the other brakes. But they're just, you know, you get what you pay for. The brakes aren't that great, but they do slow you down. But I am going to experiment with a hydraulic brake system that you just buy on Amazon. So look for that. And I believe it arrived today. I'm not going to work on it until probably Sunday, but I'm curious to see how that works and fits. So that'll be nice. Yeah, 149 miles. Amazing how many people just go, they float into the bike lane like there's nothing there. So for those of you people driving in your cars, respect the bike lane. another update on this rear rack that I have for my backpack. It works. I don't know if I'm like a huge fan of the thing. It's a little weird looking, I guess, when you have your backpack on it. It's kind of a little strange. But for now, I'm still sticking with it. I don't know, in some ways it was kind of, I'm so used to it now. It's been like over 2 years, 2.5 years or so that I've always wear my backpack. So at times I always have to put my hand back, say, is that thing still there? It's bungeed up tight, so it's always there. But yeah, it's kind of a weird sensation. See, right now I'm going to slow down mostly with the front brake because it doesn't squeak. It's the rear brake that squeaks. What's up, dog? But if we just talk about overall performance and everything, I mean, guys, you got to admit this is a great deal for $550. And I do think if I had changed out the pedals right away without using them, probably wouldn't have stripped it. And $550 delivered. Now, what I did notice is this bike is not for sale by that same vendor anymore, but I am seeing it on eBay. I mean, it gets the job done, and it's got decent speed, and distance is great. Really, not a lot of complaints. You don't have the money, or you ouch, I should have waited. If you don't have the money, or you're looking for a cheaper e-bike, or like you got a son or daughter, like what was that scraping noise, that needs an e-bike, this is really a great deal. No complaints. Let's see if we step through. And I keep tooling on this thing for a while just to kind of test it out. So far, very happy. And I just don't have that like overbearing beast of a bike like the fat tire bikes. Is more of a nimble, like a cross current. A cross current, still high on my favorite. Lean and fast, torque sensing. But this thing, for the price, wow. I mean, $1,000 difference between some of the other upper class bikes. And I've got a neighbor, he's looking at more of a high-end e-bike. He likes to do the off-road. I think I almost swallowed a bug. He likes to do the off-road stuff with e-bikes. At least I believe that's what he was telling me. And he's looking into the $10,000 range. But he's like, man, I can't pull the trigger on that because that's a car. So much money. And you know, too, every year there's like newer technologies, things that come out. I was looking too at a wireless derailleur. That blew my mind. I'm like, that is pretty cool. Like, uses a couple of buttons up front. So that's kind of neat. Cruise control. So again, with the balance, like I can do it, but you can't just like the other e-bikes had a very smooth balance. So I will say that is a difference with this one. The way it works. With up in the handlebar up there, it's not so like, oh my god, this drives me crazy. It's just kind of lightly annoying. I think people are wondering who I'm talking to half the time. But yeah, that's about everything. And one last thing. Now, I didn't say it in the beginning of the video because I've done that so many times. I'm saving it for the end. I hope this works. I'm going to take the memory chip out directly of this camera, put it on the Mac, merge the file. I'm hoping it's like a way faster process because Final Cut Pro's finally got some decent 360 editing I'm going to try taking it directly out of the camera, and I believe it'll format it, hopefully, perfectly, without anything, which will make it a lot better, so I don't have to worry about file size or any of that. Just make this thing work. So, see how it rolls? That's all I got, guys. That's it. I appreciate you guys watching and hanging out, and hopefully you're learning and you're looking at different options, no matter if you go for the 10,000, although I haven't had any examples of a $10,000 bike, down to a $550 e-bike. You're seeing a wide mix, and I'll try to keep getting some others. I had another company reach out, and I think we'll see how that works, but hopefully I can test out that e-bike and go from there. So